From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the Northstate. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman. But with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger, and I just want to start real quick with the fires. We're not going to go into a ton of detail on each fire, but I just wanted to show you a broad perspective of what we've got going on here. You'll notice in Trinity County, there are several fires there. A lot of these were started by lightning strikes that we did see the last few days. You remember we were talking about these thunderstorms here the last few days. Unfortunately, we have seen some fires sparked as a result, and quite honestly, with the lightning strikes that we saw yesterday and last night too, we will probably hear about more fires that will materialize and are materializing without our knowledge as of yet, but the firefighters are doing everything they can to spot any new fires that may have been sparked by lightning strikes. You can see the Denny fire, which is actually on an old burn scar there. We got the Fisher fire. We also have, let's kind of zoom it in here on some of these. You've got the Reading fire at 47 acres. You've also got the Canadian fire. The Reading fire, by the way, is the one that's to the south and east of Douglas City at about 80% containment here. And most likely there may be some new containment numbers coming in on that. But the Canadian fire, we've also got the Swedes fire. We've got the Allen fire, Denny fire, as I mentioned, the Miller fire, 20 acres, and the Fisher fire as well. So once again, a lot, especially kind of confined on the west side of Trinity County. Also in Siskiyou County, you got the Table Rock fire at 99 acres. That is at 5% containment. That is per CAL FIRE. We've got the Sloth fire. That's at 100% containment per CAL FIRE as well. And the Tom fire at 1/4 of an acre. Good news there, coming in from the National Interagency Fire Center at 100% containment. That's in Siskiyou County with those 3 fires there. Nothing in Modoc County. We do see that there is one couple that are in much better shape now, of course at 100% containment. Per Wildcat that is, with the Letter fire at 11.1 acres, and we've also got the Highlands fire at 0.33 acres, also at 100% containment. That is basically per radio traffic coming in there. This is interesting too. This is the H2 fire in eastern Shasta County, 100% containment here. But that was, I believe, a fire that had been sparked by lightning as well. So again, a lot of what you're seeing here are fires that were sparked by lightning. And again, unfortunately, we may be hearing about new fires because of all of the lightning strikes that we've seen over the last several days. By the way, I want to remind you that there is a great resource for you. You go to weathernorcal.com and then scroll down to where it says fire danger. You click on fire danger, and what you'll be able to do is get the latest information. Of course, that map we're just looking at Watch Duty, you have an interactive map there right from the web page. You scroll down and you can get other information such as forecast information about fires, and you also have a CAL FIRE link there. You've got power shutoffs, if there are going to be any planned power shutoffs, and at the very bottom you've got the Office of Emergency Services by county if you want to find out about more information. So again, a one-stop shop there. I highly recommend that you go check that out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast now, but before we do that, I do want to mention of a free shred fraud event. And basically what we've got here is PSA2, HICAP, and Medicare Patrol are teaming up to help you fight fraud. And there's a free event here. They're calling it the Shred Fraud Event. Now, this is going to be at the end of the month, Saturday, June 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Hartnell Avenue. You know, you probably have a lot of mail that you just throw away. Keep in mind, a lot of that has sensitive information. So thieves can go through your trash and they can grab that data and steal your identity. So Medicare statements, sensitive documents, and old bills. It's a free drive-through event, and they will just basically they will take that information and shred it right there in front of you. So be sure to check that out and put that in your calendars here. Of course, I'll continue to keep you updated on that and reminders here throughout the next several weeks. All right, let's take a look at our weather headlines. There are no more mountain thunderstorms the rest of the week, but we do have a cooling trend. We're in the middle of that right now, and that's going into the weekend. Warming back up early next week, And really, when we look at the extended, at least through the end of next week, no big heat waves, although I am seeing in the next couple of weeks maybe a big ridge of high pressure building in, but that's a long way out. Let's enjoy this cool down while we can, right? All right, here's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Wednesday, June 11th. And we're going to get you out the door this morning, heading out to work maybe, or wherever it is you may be going. You've got temperatures upper 60s. You'll notice also not quite as warm as it has been in the early morning hours. So that's good news, but we still have that fog along the coast with temperatures around 50 degrees. So the winds, yes, the winds will be picking up as we typically see here in the afternoon, but nothing major. A little gusty off to the east here, and south winds at about, say, 15, maybe 20 miles per hour for the valley. No big surprises, nothing unusual for us. And then the winds do die down for tonight and tomorrow morning. So what we've got here is the ridge of high pressure that's been giving us the heat this week, right? Or the last several days. That is being shoved down to the south and east because we've got these storm systems that are riding up to our north, helping to suppress that heat and helping to usher in a little bit more cooler air. So looking at futurecast, there's the fog along the coast here for today. I'm not anticipating any more lightning strikes. That's great to hear, right? Because as we go through the afternoon, we've just got a few clouds developing, but otherwise you've got that fog along the coast here for the rest of the day today and even going into tonight and tomorrow morning. So here's what we have in store for us today. Temperatures, low 90s. Yes, low 90s for the valley, mainly in the 80s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, you're looking at temperatures just kind of hovering around the upper 50s to about 60 degrees for that daytime high there under the mostly cloudy skies because of that fog. But sunny skies for the valley, temperatures dropping. The peak of the cooling trend is Friday, Saturday, and then temperatures creeping back up to the upper 90s to about 100 degrees here by Tuesday of next week. For the coast, just averaging between 59 and 60 for the next 7 days. No rain, no thunderstorms inland or for Trinity County. Temperatures going down and then back up again as we go into next week. No thunderstorms in the forecast. That says chance there, ignore that. That should have been taken out. I thought I took it out, but it didn't. But that is not. Do ignore that. That is not the case here for Alturas. Temperature of 84 degrees. And then I do expect that we'll be looking at those temperatures dropping slightly. All right, let's take a look at the free Weather NorCal app. By the way, that was your Quickcast. So if that's all you needed, enjoy the rest of your day, but stick around because we're going to be talking about more detail in your forecast here. But once again, just want to remind you there is a free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, download the app for free, and you will have everything you need there, right there on your phone. All right, here is a look at your fire weather forecast, and just taking a look at the winds, the humidity, and the fire danger. You can see here as we take you into this afternoon, no big surprises. As I mentioned, the winds are picking up, right? Generally from the south for the valley. They drop again going into tomorrow morning, but by the afternoon, a little bit of a spike in those winds really, especially for the north end of the valley, 25, even 30 miles per hour, unfortunately, coming in from the northwest too. And then you can see they die down again by the time we go into your Friday morning. So the fire weather risk, yeah, I mean, we're at about 40% here this morning. That's good, but then they drop again. We're down to the low teens, but generally in the moderate, barely getting in that high range here. So we are seeing improving conditions here for today, but unfortunately as we go into tomorrow, you can see even by tomorrow morning still very low, only 20% out towards Redding and even Red Bluff. And then you can see here going into your Thursday afternoon, we're seeing a lot more orange on the map here indicating that high fire danger, and especially because those winds are coming from the northwest, they're pretty gusty, 25, 30 miles per hour. Not as strong though to the south, and that's why you have more of that moderate fire weather danger. And then going into your Friday, this is just through noon, still very dry, and we may at the very least get to moderate, maybe in some cases getting close to high as well. So again, we're getting that time of the year. It's not uncommon for us to get moderate to high. It's when we start getting into the very high range that we've really got to be concerned, because that means stronger winds, more heat, very dry conditions, right? So we've got these storm systems right here. They are riding to our north, suppressing the heat, pushing it down to the south and east. We've seen a lot of lightning strikes, a lot of thunderstorms over the last few days. The good news is that is no longer in the forecast here today, the rest of the week, this weekend, and even going into next week. So there's the heat that's been over us earlier this week. That has been pushed down to the south and east thanks to this up here, flattening out that ridge of high pressure and allowing our temperatures to drop. They drop even more by the time we get to the end of the week. Friday, Saturday is the peak of the cooling trend. There's that cooler air. Now, the core of that cooler air is way up here, but it is kind of spilling down into the Pacific Northwest and still that warmer air is in place. So yes, we're talking upper 80s, low 90s for the valley for Friday, Saturday. That migrates back up to the north. So it's not this heat that I've got my eyes on anymore. It's going to be this over here. And by the way, a little piece of energy breaking off. So yes, temperatures may increase a little bit here. The main impact from this is not rain or thunderstorms, but the winds may pick up out of this as well. But this heat is going to try to expand into our region, but it can't because this right here, that cooler air continues to ride to our north. It flattens out that ridge, and yes, it's going to warm up. I mean, don't let this fool you, folks. We're still going to get up to about 100 degrees early next week here for the valley, but this is going to keep our temperatures kind of more like the mid to upper 90s for those daytime highs. In fact, looking at the temperature outlook, this cooler air has been over us the last few days, but it's being pushed back up to the north and west because it is beginning to warm back up again in that longer range, but nothing major, right? We're talking about temperatures going up, back down for Friday, Saturday. They go back up. Now, we're talking about 100 to 102 degrees. Yes, that's hot, but that's nothing terribly unusual for us. And then, of course, we do see that dip in the temperatures toward the end of next week. Hey, take a look at the lake levels. They're still very healthy. I love to show this daily because, yes, the lakes are very healthy. 90% capacity for Shasta Lake, Trinity Lake at 93%, and still at 99% for Lake Oroville. All right, so there you can see the wave heights are staying fairly low here for today, and they should stay fairly low here, at least just off the coast here over the next couple of days. Winds will eventually rise from out of the north at about 10 to 15 knots. They won't be as strong this morning, but they will increase through the afternoon. There you can see your waves, your high, your low tide, and there are no advisories, but just do note if you are going to be on a small boat out fishing, for example, there will be some of that patchy dense fog out there. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast along the Highway 299 corridor, anywhere from the low to even upper 80s. As you start heading more into central Trinity County, yeah, upper 80s there, even around 92 degrees for Douglas City and 83 for Ruth. No thunderstorms, no showers, nothing. It's looking pretty good out there. Upper 50s for Eureka, 64 in Blue Lake, 81 degrees out in Garberville. We take you up north, 67 for Smith River, 81 for Orleans, 87 out in Willow Creek, and we take you out to central, basically Siskiyou County. You've got temperatures mainly in the 80s for your daytime highs there. Notice no thunderstorms are in the forecast, just that cooler weather. Now, it says, I thought I took that out. Apparently it didn't go out. So that, just ignore that. Take it out. There you go. Partly cloudy skies here for today. You've got temperatures in the low 80s as we go into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and no thunderstorms in the forecast. All right, there's your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, and you got plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are dropping, low to mid 80s by Friday and Saturday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, temperatures around 90. I mean, that seems to be the magic number, right? 90 to 91 for Los Molinos southward. And that's the case for Chico as well, with a high of about 90. About 93 Thursday, a slight spike, and then dropping back down again before they start to slowly creep back up as we do go into early next week. The magic number here up to the north is about 91 to even upwards of 93, like 93 for Palo Cedro and Bella Vista, 92 for Redding, 87 for a high today in Lakehead and Whiskeytown, about 88 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding, and you got temperatures around 90 by the time we get into Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, we're talking 94 degrees for your Father's Day, back up to about 100 degrees by Tuesday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.